Hello everyone, welcome to SkShadow. Today we are playing F1 2020 again, and we are going on to our second race, which is China. So we're into Q1 now, and the idea really is to probably try and get into Q2, because we were able to last time. If we finish ahead of the Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams, then we definitely will get into Q2. So that's the idea. So skip through the first run a little bit into the last corner, and we do a 1:32.4, which after skipping through a little bit places us 16th currently. So that's not quite good enough, so we go for a second run. We managed to pick up a fair bit of pace. So coming out of the first corner, we are 3.5 tenths up currently. Now this corner here is one that the AI always seem to struggle on. They seem to just not have enough grip, but we do, and it means that coming out of that corner we're now 4 tenths up, and then coming into the last corner we just about managed to make it 5, and then we crossed the line, and that puts us 12th. So we did a 1:31.8, and our teammate ended up 18th, so he's actually not going to be into Q2, but we are. So we do the first Q2 run. It actually put us out just behind that Alpha Tauri, so it was a bit awkward because we had to brake and make enough space, which you'll see why was an issue in a second, because it started raining. So the weather did say it was going to rain at the end of qualifying, but I wasn't expecting it to be in Q2. But nonetheless, it's not too bad. You see we make a little bit of oversteer there, but it's certainly drivable, so it's nothing too terrible. So going into the last corner of our Q2 run, we cross the line with 1:32.646, which is just a couple of tenths slower than our first run in Q1, but it puts us 14th ahead of the Haas and McLaren. I didn't bother doing a second run because what would be the point, as it would just be more rain.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
So Jeff clearly wants us to get points again. It suggests we could do soft medium, but I wasn't too sure on that sort of tyre wear strategy, so I just stuck with the medium hards instead, just to make sure we definitely make it to the end of the race. And it's 5 lights on, and we are off, and we make a reasonable start. A little bit of wheel spin, but nothing too major. We then go down the inside of Ocon, and then we manage to go all the way around the outside of a fair few cars. We have a little bit of oversteer there, which we managed to correct, and then we just about managed to make it stick on Gasly. Got Norris ahead, which he's on the soft, so I don't suspect we're going to be getting anywhere near him. It's probably going to be just like last time, where we're just fighting a couple of people, mainly Gasly and Ocon. As you can see, Gasly's gone around our outside and has actually managed to overtake us, and we have to slam on the brakes because he didn't have enough traction to make that corner after going around the outside. So that was a little bit awkward. But we have Gasly ahead of us, 4 tenths, Ocon behind us, 3 tenths, smashing on the overtake to try and make sure we don't get overtaken by Ocon, who's very, very close behind at the moment. But the idea here is to try and retake Gasly on the main straight. So we're definitely gaining time on him, as I said earlier. For some reason the arrow are really slow on that corner. But we put Rich, overtake, and we make the move very, very easily. So we're back ahead of Gasly and back behind Norris now. So we're on to lap 3. We are 6 tenths behind Norris, a little bit of oversteer there, but that does mean that we will get the DRS on Norris. So that should help us in our fight to defend against Gasly and Ocon. Like I said, I can't imagine we'll be fighting for position with Norris because he's on the soft, he's on a faster car. The only way we could potentially come ahead of him is if he has to do a 2-stop strategy, which we're about to find out.
Is 0.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 2 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:36.3. Gap to teammate behind is 6.5 seconds.
So it looks like Norris is on a 2-stop strategy, so just like last race, that should help us a lot. I also heard that our teammate is 6 seconds behind us, so that is not great. He's not doing particularly well, but the new F2 drivers never really do that well in the first few months of my team. So we might try and go for a different person for our halfway through the season, but it does cost a lot of money to not use an F2 driver, so I can't imagine we'll have enough. But the first few softs go into the pits and we come out 8th because of it. So Gasly is still very close behind us, 4 tenths. We've got Stroll ahead, 2.5, not really enough to try and make a move. We won't get DRS on him, so it's not really going to work. So it's just all going to be about defending from Gasly.
Front is 2.4 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:36.7. They're building a lead of 6 tenths per lap.
So as you heard, Stroll is building a lead of 6 tenths a lap, but more crucially, he's on a 1 stop, which means that there are going to be other soft runners that are on a 1 stop, so we won't get as much of a benefit from being on the medium hard strategy as we did last race.
Stop left. Your pit window
Prix is going into pits now, so as well as Leclerc, so some of the first of the 1 stop soft stops, and that puts us 4th. So we've still got Stroll ahead, 2 and a bit seconds. We've actually gained a bit of time on him, but Gasly is still within the 1 second DRS bracket behind us. So going into this last corner on lap 7, the rest of the softs are into the pits, which means we are going to come out in 2nd place. We're behind Bottas. He actually managed to qualify in Q2 on the mediums, so he's had a very, very good strategy because he's 13 tenths up and he hasn't even stopped yet. Sorry, 13 seconds up and he hasn't even stopped yet, so he's definitely on course to win this race. So just doing a bit of a time lapse, 2 times speed of the next few laps, because really there's nothing interesting that happens. We stay 2nd, Bottas is ahead, he obviously carries on making time on us, and it's all about just defending from Gasly, but he's not fast enough to actually go for an overtake. So it's pretty much just a train at this point of me, Gasly, Ocon and Kvyat. One of the Alfa Romeos, Raikkonen I think, ends up out. There's me just checking to see if it was a crash or whether it's just mechanical failure, and it was just mechanical failure, so nothing interesting still. So yeah, that shows you just how close Gasly is behind us at the moment, but again, with use of overtake and rich fuel mix, it's just about not fast enough. This is Bottas coming out of pits, and you'll see that we just overtake him as he comes out. So we squeeze him a little bit, he probably has to slam on the brakes, but yeah, he's very close behind us, and down this main straight he is undoubtedly going to overtake us, so don't even bother putting overtake or rich or anything like that on, because we are not fighting Bottas today. But it is pit time for us, so we go into the pits. We've got Gasly and Ocon following us, so as long as we get a reasonably timed pit, we should be alright for that. Our pit box is right at the end, so it takes forever to actually get to the pits, but we're going into the pits there. Nice quick change of tyres and back out. And as we're out, it actually looks like for some reason Ocon and Gasly must have had a slow stop or got caught up in some sort of traffic, because they are actually 3 seconds behind, and Ocon is ahead of Gasly, whereas it was the other way around before the pits. So something definitely happened there. Not sure what though, but that has taken us out in 12th. So obviously some of the soft runners have still got a pit again, so we might be able to get into the points hopefully. So yeah, going around here you can see that Hamilton is now in the picture, so he's 11th. He's on mediums. I'm guessing they're mediums till the end of the race, and this is how close he is to the Renault, so he's overtaking him, which means he's going to be very, very close to us very soon. So yeah, this is a few laps down the line, and Hamilton is easily able to overtake us. Once again, we don't even bother trying to defend because there is no point, because we are not fighting Hamilton today. We are fighting Ocon, Gasly, and maybe 1 or 2 of the McLarens, depending on their tyre strategy. We get a DRS with Hamilton though, and we pass all of the others that were on the 2 stops, which actually puts us out into 7th, which would be a very good result if we can keep that. Obviously those soft runners are going to be coming up from the back, so the 2 Ferraris, for example, might be a bit of an issue near the end of the race. That is Hamilton just overtaking Stroll there. So carrying on as normal, still not much happening. We're just sitting in 7th all by ourselves really. This is our teammate getting overtaken by a Williams at the same time. So while we're there, just, you know, mind our own business in 7th, no one really around us, our teammate is getting overtaken and sticking in 20th currently. So it shows you the skill difference, and it's definitely not difficulty issues, because I've actually upped the difficulty a couple for this race. I'm on 104 now. So going around this first corner, we actually lose a bit of time because we go a bit too wide, which means we're really slow around there. And as you can see, that Ocon ends up about 1.3, 1.4 seconds behind. But that's probably the most interesting it's going to get.
Behind is 35.5 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in 20th. The time last lap was a 1:39.4.
As you just heard, our teammate is 35 seconds behind. So yeah, he's definitely a lot slower than us, but I'm sure if you have watched any other My Team videos from any of the other YouTubers, you'll notice that that's always the case until you then get an actual decent F1 driver like Ricciardo, Verstappen, anyone like that. Then they, you know, stay with you time-wise, but not so much the initial F2 drivers. So this is the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc overtaking one of the Alpha Tauris. As you can see, Vettel's quite close behind there as well. So you've got Leclerc in 9th now. Probably won't be long until he's up the gearbox of Ocon. And then it won't be long until he's trying to overtake us, most likely. But at the moment, we are still clear of DRS from Ocon, so we're okay for now. We're nowhere near Stroll, so there's no hopes of even trying to overtake him. But moving on to lap 26 now, and you can see Leclerc is ahead of Ocon now. And he is within DRS of us, so for these next 2 laps it's definitely going to be a heavy defending game. Although on this straight I decided not to go overtake or anything like that, because I thought that he was going to make an easy overtake on us, but we actually managed to brake a little bit later and managed to retain 7th place. So the next 2 laps is going to be very, very heavy defending from us, with lots of use of the overtake button and rich fuel mix, because Leclerc, as you can see, is less than 2 tenths behind us at this point. And going down the main straight, we've got overtake and rich on, and it's just about keeping us ahead of Leclerc. And we cross the line in 7th place.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So yeah, we end up 7th, and then our teammate ends 20th, so not great for him. Pretty good for us, another points finish, which is always nice. Hopefully we can keep that going into our next race.